I've been thinking, there is something wrong with humanity in general as we continue to increase our perpetual violence and greedy destruction. What is the underlying cause of all these conflicts and constant misery? Today, we will discover that the answer lies within our minds by exploring the secondhand advice from the book, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Our egos dominate and steer us away from real joy and satisfaction in the present moment by getting wrapped up in the past or worrying about the future. This book will change your entire perspective about life, happiness, achievement, and our purpose here on earth. Today, we'll discuss the dysfunction and even madness of society, the concept of sin in Christianity, and why you should aim to be like a duck. In A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle outlines all the craziness, destruction, and uncertainty that we face. He also shows us how we can save our home, Earth, not by doing something extraordinary, but by merely detaching ourselves from our own ego. Tolle insists that by controlling our ego, we can practice acceptance and enjoyment. Most would agree we live in crazy, overwhelming times. Society suffers from a collective mental illness, which is evident in the violence people inflict upon one another and the planet. People of the 20th century have both created and witnessed some of the most horrific, systemized destruction methods. We have made bombs, machine guns, and even poisonous gas. This destructive force we are living by could be called suffering, madness, or sin. When translated from the ancient Greek of the New Testament, the meaning of sin in Christianity means to miss the mark. Therefore, to sin means to miss the point of human life. The human mind is brilliant, yet its very intelligence is tainted by madness. Most people are ignorant of their connectedness to the whole. Violence, greed, and hate are prevalent even today, not only among ourselves, but also towards other species and the earth itself. We destroy rainforests, pollute the environment, and mistreat and slaughter animals in factory farms. While many religions have tried to provide solutions to these human impulses, none have figured out a way to stop the violence. Also, you have to understand the difference between spirituality and religion. Having a particular belief system or a set of thoughts that you regard as the absolute truth does not make you spiritual, no matter what the nature of your belief is. How spiritual you are has nothing to do with what you believe, but everything to do with your state of consciousness. So, if religion isn't the medicine to cure our inner madness, what is the solution? We must realize that to fight our inner destructive powers, it is the ego that fuels these forces. Identifying with the ego keeps us staggering in our thoughts, emotions, and desires to connect with everything outside ourselves. If you want to heal and begin the transcendence process, you must first recognize your own insanity. You cannot fight against the ego and win, just like you cannot fight against darkness. All you need is the light of consciousness. Most people are entirely identified with the incessant stream of mind or compulsive thinking, most of which is repetitive and pointless. We have to realize that thinking without awareness is the central dilemma of human existence. We often don't recognize that life is not as severe as our minds make it out. It's time to stop identifying with the ego and let it go. The problem with our ego is that it lies to us. It tricks us into thinking that knowing ourselves is the same thing as knowing about ourselves. The past thoroughly conditions our egoistic minds. People often try to find themselves in something, but they are never really able to see themselves through those things, and they end up losing themselves. That is the fate of the ego. One of the ills of our time is object proliferation. So it is vital to investigate your relationship with the world of things. You can do that by self-observation. Make sure that you are alert and honest while exploring your relationship with things. Please don't take it seriously, and whenever you find yourself indulging in an egoistic behavior, smile and change course. Today's world feeds on ego. We perpetuate the myth that we are defined through our achievements, histories, and material possessions. Many people find that on their deathbed, whatever things they held close to them were not that important. To develop consciousness, you have to let go of the concept of holding on to possessions. Understand that these things outside of the world do not define you. The nature of the ego is a mental construct. It is a story we tell ourselves about who we are. Characteristics attributed to ego include unawareness, complaining, negative thoughts, fragility, and reactivity. We can challenge our ego by forgiving others and ourselves. The ego fuels the human tendency to hold on to pain from the past. We can challenge our ego by not allowing the past to have power over our present, doing what we love, and being non-reactive to certain situations. It is necessary to understand the importance of awareness. Being aware implies that you have to be in the present moment, and being aware provides a person with unrivaled power over oneself. Egoistic behavior can appear in different forms. For example, feeling inferior or superior to others and comparing yourself to others is actually your ego talking to you. Our ego is the cause of unhappiness that we think about situations. It is not any particular situation that brings sadness. It is the thoughts we have about that situation that causes unhappiness. Alienation and misery are the results of ego-driven overthinking. We continuously ruminate about past hurts or focus on fears about the future. The majority of us are continually collecting resentments, wounds, and other negative emotions. Instead, we need to focus our minds and let go of anything that causes pain. Alternatively, we can take inspiration from nature and be more like ducks. After a fight, ducks rapidly split and swim away in opposite directions as if nothing had ever happened. People don't respond in the same way. We continue to think about the fight, fueling ourselves with frustration and rage. We also speculate about the other person and create stories about them in our minds. It would be far more beneficial to let go of the event, return to the present moment, and continue to swim away. Returning to the present moment is where we can always find peace. If you genuinely want an impactful and long-lasting change in your life, you must understand the importance of thoughts. Thinking is a physical process, just like digestion. Our thoughts give us identification, and our emotions are actually our body's reaction to our identification with the mind. It is essential to identify the difference between automatic responses and emotions. Believe it or not, we humans seek negative emotions, which leads to unhappiness, and then this unhappiness leads to physical disease. We need to recognize our tendency to seek emotional negativity and to prevent it. Furthermore, we are a modern civilization that gets lost in doing. Everyone seems determined to do things. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. What we need is to be a civilization that is rooted in being. Be yourself. Don't compare yourself to others and live your life without any regrets. What is the key to living without regret and breaking free of our ego? To overcome our ego and our pain body, we must first acknowledge that they exist. One thing that activates our pain body and causes unconsciousness of the self is money. We must not allow the pursuit of money to prevent us from being conscious in every moment of our life. Whenever we try to understand the nature of anything, we observe it very closely. So what do we do when we honestly want to know ourselves? We have to watch how we react to our life's challenges. Most people define who they are through the content of their lives. Instead, it would be best if you were focusing on what enables this content. This is your consciousness. The most important thing that will help you in finding yourself is your relationship with your present. How do you react to your present? Have you ever paid attention to that? Centering your thoughts on your relationship to your present will help you know yourself. Earlier, we talked about how people try to find themselves through things and the world in general. When we learn to detach from the world's events, we open to the possibility of developing our own inner space. We should feel peaceful even when something terrible is happening. Also, you should be aware of your breathing whenever possible. Focusing on your breathing will transform your life. It will help you engage with your inner consciousness and take your attention away from needless thoughts. Your breath will help you stay in the present. Whenever you become anxious or stressed, it indicates that the outer purpose has taken over and you have lost sight of your inner purpose. You have forgotten that your state of consciousness is primary and everything else is secondary. Understand the importance of your consciousness and living in the present. Most people are focused on their outer purpose. Many attribute success to recognition or prosperity. This is false. Recognition and wealth are just the byproducts of success. Your success is in your inner purpose, and your future depends on that internal state of consciousness. We all share the same inner purpose, to awaken to our consciousness and to be able to separate thoughts from awareness. This is true enlightenment when we can be present and conscious, but without thinking. When we can do this collectively as a species, we will create a new earth. The solution lies in extreme personal consciousness. Unfortunately, many people in the West consider death as an abstract concept. They have no idea what happens to the human form when it approaches dissolution. The two main factors in becoming enlightened are enjoyment and acceptance. We should complete every task in a friendly and open fashion, even when the job is not enjoyable, such as doing the laundry or filing your taxes. Be willing to do whatever you need to do now and you will be at peace with everything. Only you are in control of the way you deal with life's situations. If something doesn't please you, or you can at least accept it, you should stop the activity. When you attain enlightenment, your motivation to act will stem from enjoyment rather than feelings of desire or want. Know that your consciousness is already conscious. It is eternal. It's not what you do, but how you do it that determines whether you are fulfilling your destiny. Your state of consciousness determines this. Understand that the joy of being is the joy of being conscious. The only thing that can set you free is living in the present without the shackles of the past or the worries of the future. Let's review. We have learned that the ego is the root cause of unhappiness, chaos, and many of the problems individuals and societies face. Eckhart teaches us that letting go of the ego will allow us to experience the enlightenment of non-judgment, non-resistance, and non-attachment. This is the way to achieve both internal joy and significant world peace. Dive deep into yourself, get rid of your ego, and understand that you have to be entirely focused on the present moment. Only then will you be fully conscious, and only then will you be able to break free of your fears, desires, and worries. This will lead to a new you and a new earth. What do you do to live in the present moment? How does your ego interfere with your happiness? Comment below with your best advice. Please be sure to like and subscribe as well. And thank you for watching.